नमः सुन्दरनाथाय तस्मै हालास्य वासिने चतुष्षष्टि विधालीला येनाकारि भवस्थले श्रीमत्सुन्दरनाथस्य देवीं शफरलोचनं कलये हृदये नित्यं कदम्बवनवासिनीं पूतं स्वतः पूततरं ततो यद्गाङ्गम्पयः शङ्करमौळिसङ्गात् त्वत्पातु मातुः प्रणयापराधपादाहते पूततमं ततो नः. We finished with two leelas of among the 64 leelas of Shiva. The first one was in one Krita Yugam, and then the second one was also in another Krita Yugam. Because there are many Chatur Yugas in a Manvantara, you can have these leelas spread over many different Chatur Yugas. It need not have been in just one particular Chatur Yugam, but it has been revealed to the author in some way, Puranam, right? So all of these are found in the Purana, and those in the Skanda Puranam and in Halasya Mahatmyam, you will find that Agastya is relating all of these to the Rishis. And in turn, Suta tells actually Shaunaka the Rishayaha tu tatra Sutam agatya prichanti, and then Suta tries to tell them, but then Suta also points out to Agastya, and it is Agastya who is relating all of these 64 leelas to the Rishis. So he could have had the knowledge and the span of knowledge could span many Chatur Yugas and each of these leelas could have happened in different Chatur Yuga. But what we have from the Skanda Puranam is the first 16 leelas were performed in Krita Yugam, the next in Satya Treta Yuga, then you have Dwapara Yugam, and the last 16 in Kali Yuga. Now the third leela is Madhura Nagara Nirmanam. It starts off with the description of a Vaishya, a businessman, Vanik, who is staying near Kadambavanam in a city called Kalyana Nagara. And he is a great Shiva Bhakta. One day by chance, he witnesses the Devas doing Abhishekam and Puja to the Sundaralingam in Kadambavanam. He goes and reports it to the king, Kulashekara Pandya. Coincidentally for Kulashekara Pandya also, Shiva comes in his dream and tells him that you will have to make a temple for me, construct a temple for me. We saw in the first Leela itself that Vishwakarma came and constructed a temple, right? But then over a period of time, I'm sure, a lot of, because Krita Yugam has more number of years than Treta Yugam, and Treta Yugam has more number of years when compared to Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. So the time divisions, it's very interesting to see. You can also look up in Wikipedia Hindu units of time to know that the Krita Yugam, number of years in Krita Yuga is huge. So after one temple could have been destroyed, or many trees could have grown around it, and so there is no temple there. And hence Kulashekara Pandya decides to build a temple upon the orders of Shiva. After building the temple, Indra himself proclaims that this city is called Madhura. He sprinkles it with Amritam and says that this city should be called as Madhura. So you have Madurai in Tamil Nadu. It is also called Madhura. The difference between northern Mathura and this is the and the difference that you have. So Madhurapuri is Madurai. This describes the construction of Madhura Nagaram. So let's start with the Shloka 41. Kadamba Vipinat Prachi Kalyana Nagare Tataha Kalena Mahata Jagnye Kaschidvaishyo Dhananjayaha. Kadamba Vipinat Prachi Tataha Tadanantaram Airavata Shapa Vimochanadhanantaram. So after Airavata says Swarga Gamanat Mahata Kalena, after a long time, after Airavata Shapam was over, and after that, many years later, Mahata Kalena, Kadamba Vipinat Prachi Purvasyam Dishi, in the eastern direction of Kadamba Vanam, Kadamba Vipinat Prachi, to the eastern direction of Kadamba forest, Kalyana Nagare, in the city called Kalyana. Kaschit Vaishyaha Dhananjayaha Jagnye. A Vaishya merchant by name Dhananjaya was born. Jagnye. It's a very simple shloka, nothing to it. So Kadamba Vipinat Prachi, Kalyana Nagare Tataha, Kalena Mahata Jagnye, Kaschit Vaishyaha Dhananjayaha. Now, the qualities of Dhananjaya is going to be described in the next few shlokas. Astraya Gatva Devena, Krita Yuddham Gatasprihaha, Kauravyam Atyashetayam, Uravyastu Dhananjayaha. Now, the word Dhananjaya immediately gives us Arjuna in our mind and nobody else. Whereas we are talking about the Vaishya Dhananjaya in this. So he is going to, Nilakanta Dikshita now gets a clue and he compares the activities of Arjuna with our Vaishya Dhananjaya, this merchant. So Astraya Gatva Devena Kritayuddham Kauravyam Gatasprihaha Ayam Uravyaha Dhananjayaha Atyasheta. Now he is going to say that our Dhananjaya is better than that Dhananjaya. Who is that Dhananjaya? Astraya Gatva Devena Kritayuddham Dhananjayam Kauravya. He indicates Kauravya, Arjuna as Kauravya, Kuru Vamsha, Kuroho Apatyam Kauravyaha. So Atra Arjunaha Dhananjaya. Arjuna is also called Dhananjaya because he went to the northern Kuru Desha and won over a lot of wealth. So he actually went to Kubera and got the wealth that was present in the northern countries. So he is called Dhananjaya. So here Nilakanta Dikshita uses the word Kauravya for Arjuna because he wants to give that Shabdalankara. And he uses the word Uravya. Uravya is Vaishya. Okay. A lot of small details that Nilakanta Dikshita has put in this shloka and another shloka also. So we'll go into those slowly. The idea here is Arjuna wanted victory in the battlefield, right? So he wanted to get Pashupatashtram from Parameshwara. So Yuddhe Jayam Praptum Aichat. So Pratamameva Tasya Icha Asit. He had a desire to win over the battle. And for that he needed a weapon which could give him an edge over the others. So he wanted to go to Parameshwara and ask for Pashupatashtram and other Divyastram also. So Astraya Gatva. Here this fourth case is actually a specific sutram that Panini has, which says Kriyartha Upapadasya cha Karmani Sthaninaha, where Kriyartham, it is Astram Praptum. The second case for Astra takes on fourth case when that Kriyartham is, when that Kriya is dropped off. So you can say Astram Praptum Gatva. In order to attain an Astra, he went. For that, you can just say Astraya Gatva, Pathanaya Gatva, Vidyalayam Gatva, Pathitum Gacchati, Athava Pathaya Gacchati. So, in the same way, Astram Praptum Gacchati, this instead you can say Astraya Gacchati. So, he wanted to attain Divyastram, divine weapons. So, who went for the divine weapons, and what did he do? He fought with Parameshwara himself, because Parameshwara came in the form of a Kirata, a hunter, and he fought with Arjuna. They both killed the boar at the same time, and Kirata Arjuniyam is a kavyam written by Bharavi, which details this entire episode of Arjuna going and performing tapas. Then he meeting Shiva in the form of a Kirata, and they both are having a fight. So, Devena Kritayuddham Kauravyam. Arjuna, he went there, Parameshwarat Pashupatashtram Praptum, Saha Tapaha Akarot. Tadanantaram, only when he gets those divine weapons, he thought that Jayaha Sadhyaha, a victory is possible. And so, Astrartham, he did a penance. Went to the forest, but then Parameshwara appeared in front of him and he fought with Parameshwara. So, Devena Kritayuddham. The Kritayuddham is an adjective to Kauravya. Kritayuddham Kauravyam. So Kauravya, the descendant of Kuru, who went for divine weapons and fought a battle with the Lord Shiva. Now this is in Dvitiya Vibhakti. What is the Karta here? Dhananjayaha, Uravyaha Dhananjayaha tu Kauravyam, Kritayuddham Kauravyam, Atyasheta, he superseded, surpassed the descendant of Kuru. Who was this who surpassed Kuru Vamsha Arjuna? Dhananjayaha. Our Dhananjaya, who is an Uravyaha, Vaishyaha, Gatasprihaha, he did not have any desire at all. So this desireless merchant Dhananjaya surpassed or superseded Kauravya, the descendant of Kuru, Dhananjaya again, who was, so Dhananjaya can go for actually both Kauravya and Uravya. Because this is in Prathama Vibhakti, we have to give it as we have to connect it only with Uravya. So what is this Uravya? Urau bhavaha Uravyaha. Brahmano mukhamasit Uru Vaishyaha. So when you, if you know Purusha Suktam, Bahu Rajanya Kritaha, and then Vaishyaha came from the Uru. So when Brahma created all the four Varnas, each Varna was born out of a different part of the body of Purusha to indicate their particular job. So Brahmano Mukamasit, the mouth is Brahmana because their Jivika was by saying Vedas, and so they were born out of the mouth. And Bahu Rajanyaha, the Kshatriyas lived by their Bahubalam, by protecting the Prajaha. So they were born from the shoulders of Brahma or shoulders of Purusha, and Vaishya were born from the thigh. So Uru is thigh. Todaingrolya. So thigh. Uruhu, Urau Bhavaha. Those who were born, those who were present in the thighs of Parameshwara or Purusha. So there is a sutram again here. Sharira avayavacha iti yat pratyaha tatra bhavati. So Uru plus yat, Uravya. So Uravyaha is a Vanik or a Vaishya who is a merchant. So Uravyaha, even in Amarakosham, you will find the word Uravya, Uruja, Arya, Vaishyaha iti. So Uravyaha Dhananjayaha itukte, the merchant Dhananjaya, but he was a very elevated soul that he did not have any desire. Gata Sprihaha. Gata Spriha Yasmat, from whom their Spriha or desire was completely gone. So one who was like a Vairagya Yuktaha Saha, Viraktaha Saha. Iti. So Gata Sprihaha Uravyaha Dhananjayaha, he surpassed Arjuna because Arjuna wanted something. Whereas our merchant Dhananjaya did not want anything at all. He was completely without any desire. So he was better than Arjuna, who went and even fought with Parameshwara to get Astra. So Arjuna had a lot of desire, whereas our Dhananjaya did not have any desire. So he was better than Arjuna. Astraya gatva devena kritayuddham gatasprihaha kauravyam atyasheta ayam uravyaha tu Dhananjayaha. So ayam uravyaha Dhananjayaha. Ayam itukte Kalyana Nagara Vasi, one who was born in this Kalyana Nagara. Ayam uravyaha, merchant. Gatasprihaha, who had no desire. Dhananjaya, he atyashete, ati asheta. Atishete is one who surpasses. Atishayokti solronla, atishayaha, extra, one who is beyond something. So atyasheta is in Langlakara. So atyasheta surpassed. He surpassed Kauravya, the descendant of Kuru, who Kritayuddham, Devena Kritayuddham, who fought a battle with Shiva because he went for Astram. Astraya Gatva, in order to get this Astram. Why did he have to go there and get the divine Astram? Because he had desire. So even this, our merchant was better than Arjuna because he did not have any desire. Astraya Gatva Devena Kritayuddham Gatasprihaha Kauravyam Atyashayatayam Uravyastu Dhananjayaha. Tasya Bhumi Sprisho Bhaktim Tarunendu shikhamano bhaktihi agantuka anyesham katham va anukarishyati. Nilakanta Dikshita uses a lot of words which are, in double meaning with slesha here. So, and he also gives us Amarakosham. First, in the first shloka, that is 41st shloka, you find the word Vaishyaha. The second one had Uravyaha. Now the word for Vaishya here is Bhumisprishaha. So if you go to Amarakosham, you will find the word Uravya, Uruja, Arya, Vaishya, Bhumisprisho, Vishaha. These are the different words for Vaishya or Vanik, merchant. Bhumisprik is also a word for Vanik. So here, Tasya Bhumisprishaha Bhaktim Anyesham Bhaktihi Katham va Anukarishyati. How can the devotion of other people even compare to the devotion of this Vanik, this our Dhananjaya? So there is no comparison at all. Anukarishyati ityukte, imitate. How can the bhakti of other people imitate the bhakti of this person? So what he wants to say is, Dhananjaya was born in that Kalyana Nagaram. He did not have any desire, but he had a great devotion towards Parameshwara. Tarunendu shikha manau bhaktim tasya bhumisprishaha tasya gatasprihasya. That Vaishya who did not have any desire, bhumisprishaha, bhumim sprishati iti bhumisprik is your pratipadikam here. Bhumisprish is the pratipadikam. Bhumisprik is prathama ekavachanam. So bhumim sprishati. One who touches the bhumi is the literal meaning here. After the next shloka, I will tell you about the qualities of Vaishya that is there in Manudharma Shastram. Then you will understand the vyutpatti of the word bhumisprik. He is responsible for the bhumi. He touches the bhumi ityukte. He protects the bhumi. Anything that is to do with the bhumi is the Vaishyas. A merchant is responsible for anything to do with the bhumi, earth. So bhumisprishaha tasya bhumisprishaha, that merchant's bhakti in whom devotion in Parameshwara, tarunendu shikhamanau bhaktim. He had a great devotion towards Parameshwara, who had the Taruna Indu, Balachandra, as his Shikhamani, crown jewel. Shikha is crown and Mani is jewel. So it is like a Chudamani for Parameshwara. Tarunaha itukte yuvakaha, yuva, a young Bala Chandraha, a crescent moon. Shiva, who is wearing a crescent moon as his crown jewel. Tadrishe Shive bhaktihi vidyate asya vanijaha. So this vanik this merchant had a great devotion towards Parameshwara, who had the crescent moon as his jewel. So tasya bhumisprishaha tarunendu shikamanau bhaktim anyesham bhaktihi katam anukarishyati. Others bhakti, how will others devotion resemble this or even compare to this merchant's devotion? So how is the devotion of other people? Anyesham bhaktihi tu agantuka. Now, agantuka means it is something that has come. Even in Hindi or Bengali, you have the word agantuk. Agantuk is an athithi, one who has just arrived unintentionally, or it has, you have invited someone and then he has come to your house. Usually agantuk is a person who just arrives unintentionally. It's not something that is who is there always present, but it is something that is like a visitor. So just because when we go to the temple, then we have devotion. How is our devotion? Our devotion is not something that is ajanma siddham. That is not something that is there from the time we were born. It is something that has come to us like a visitor, and it will also go away whenever we don't want it. Whenever we feel like we do things with devotion, we show our devotion to the God. We go to the temple, then probably we still have a little bit of devotion. So even then, our thoughts are somewhere else. Bhakti ityukte swaswarupa anusandhanam bhakti. The word bhakti is not a simple devotion of looking at the Lord and having your hands like this. Anjali baddhena tatra bhagavataha darshanam kevalam nasti. Bhakti goes to the point of swaswarupa anusandhanam. You will have to think about the Lord as becoming one inside your Atma. Your entire body, soul, mind, everything should be consumed by the thoughts of Parameshwara, and that is called bhakti. Now, the bhakti of others is agantuka bhakti. Prayatna sampadita. It is like a visitor here. Athiti rupena ya bhakti hi vidyate anyesham sa bhaktistu asya vanijaha bhaktya saha sadrishyam navahati. There is no comparison between this bhakti that is there in this merchant to the bhakti that is like a visitor in other people. So anyesham agantuka bhakti, aharya bhakti. It's not something that is janma siddham. It's not a natural thing that see people like Prahlada or Dhruva. It's very easy for them to naturally get into that state of bhakti or ekagrachittata, concentration. Whereas for us, for others, it is an agantuka bhakti. Now, the word bhumi sprishaha, one of the commentators or editor for this book called Ganapati Shastri, he takes this as an adjective to bhakti. So, bhumi sprishaha bhaktim iti, it won't, it will not connect properly to that word bhakti. He says bhakti hi bhumi sprishaha iti visheshanat ajanma siddham bhaktim iti. But then you have to have it in dvitiya vibhakti. Even if you take it as kapratyaya and say bhakti sprishaha, then you have to have it as bhakti sprisham, bhumi sprisham bhaktim. Adi edukanna bhumi sprishaha ityukte, from the moment he touches the earth. Bhumi sprishaha bhaktim. The innocent, natural devotion of someone who has just touched the earth. That is, one who is born with that devotion. From the moment this Dhananjaya touched the earth, you take it as a literal meaning here. Not in the sense of Vaishya, but you take the Vyutpatti meaning of Bhumim sprishati, yaha, saha, tasya, bhakti. From the moment yasmat kshanat saha bhumim sprishati tasya bhakti, he had a great bhakti towards Parameshwara right from the moment he touched this earth. So how can you compare a normal bhakti, agantuka bhakti, to this bhakti which is there right from the time that he touched the earth, right from the time that he was born? So tasya bhumi sprishaha bhaktim katham va anukarishyati. How can it even imitate? Anukarishyati itukte imitate. You can't even compare. First of all, it cannot even imitate that. Imitation nale, it's a fake thing. You can't even fake that bhakti, let alone being compared. So anukarishyati can mean both imitating. It can also mean sadrishyam vahati. So comparing also can be a meaning there. So it not only can be an imitation, it cannot even compare to it. So tasya bhumi sprisho bhaktim tarunendu shikhamano bhaktihi agantuka anyesham katham va anukarishyati. It cannot, how can it compare? Now the next one is a very interesting shloka. I think we will have to finish with this shloka because there are so many small things that are there in this that both Neelakanta Dikshita and the editor who has done the edition has also given. It'll be more like a Vyakarana class and a Dharmashastra class. So for this shloka, Dashaika Dashikaha Prayaha Vanijas Chatura Api Ekam Dattva Iha Somutra Tatsahasram Uparjayat. I've still not gone into the Alankara for this. I'll do that later. So, Dashaika Dashikaha Vanijaha Chaturaha Api Prayaha Dashaika Dashikaha. The word that I have given in bracket is Dashakaha and Shatikaha. This is an emendation given by the editor. He says probably this should be the patham here and not Dashaika Dashikaha. Okay. In my opinion, Dashaikadashikaha is absolutely correct given the temperament of Nilakanta Dikshita. I will explain the Shlokam, then the particular words, all three words and its formation. Then you will understand why Dashaikadashikaha is correct. So Dashaikadashikaha, Vanijaha is merchants. It is a Jakaranta Halanta Pullingam. So Vanik Vanijo Vanijaha Chaturaha api, even though they are very clever. Generally, merchants are very clever, but they are people who give 10 and expect 11. What do merchants do? இந்த லேவாதேவி பண்றதும்போ, அதாவது வட்டிக்கு கொடுக்கறது, those who give it for interest. So dasha dattva ekadasham vanchanti. Merchants are not people who give loan 10. If they give a loan of 10 rupees, let's say, they expect to get back 11 rupees. They want a profit of 10% there. Right? This is how probably these vaniks are, these merchants are. But our merchant, so Saha here is our Dhananjaya. Saha Iha ekam dattva, he just gives one here. Amutra tat sahasram uparjayat, but he earned 1,000 there. Amutra. So what does this mean? Iha itukte bhumau. He gives only one thing in this bhumi, which is devotion. So ekam bhakti rupam dattva, he shows devotion towards Parameshwara, and it is only one single thing that he gives to Parameshwara. Ekam dattva. Iha itukte bhumau. What is the result that he gets? Phalam phalarupena sahasram prapnoti. Uparjayat. He has already earned. This uparjayat is in past tense. It is not what he is going to earn. He has already earned tat sahasram, sahasra sankhyaakam, sahasra gunakam, thousands of whatever he has given. If he has given just one bhakti, he has already earned 1,000 times of that bhakti as phalam, as a result. Amutra. Amutra is Swarge. Whatever he has spent here is just one, but what he receives in return is 1,000 times more, and that too not in Bhumi, but in Swargam. So a very simple thing is, the normal merchants, they may be very clever. They give 10 and they receive 11 here in this Bhumi. But our Dhananjaya gives only one bhakti. இந்த இது மாதிரி பாலும் தெளிதேனும் பாகும் பருப்பும் இவை நான்கும் கலந்து நான் உனக்கு தருவேன், சங்கத்தமிழ் மூன்றும் எனக்கு தாங்கிறார். This is called parivritti alankara. Parivrittina, you give something less for receiving a greater thing. ஔவையார் பிள்ளையார்ட்ட சொல்றச்சு பாலும் பருப்பும் தெளி தேனும் பாகும் பருப்பும் இல்லையா? She gives one payasam. She puts in milk, paruppu, lentils, and then she puts in jaggery, milk and everything, and gives it to Vinayaka, Ganesha. And what does she expect? She wants Sangat Tamil மூன்று சங்கத்திலும் இருக்கக்கூடிய அத்தனை தமிழும் அவளுக்கு வேணுமா. She wants the entire gamut of that Tamil literature to be given to her by Ganesha. Such was Avoyar's devotion towards Ganesha. But then she also says, I'm going to give you only a little bit, but you have to give me a lot more in return. நம்ம வந்து sorry, I'm just diverting into Tamil here. It's closer to my heart, so I have to do that. And அந்த வழக்கே தரிச்சே கேட்போம். விளக்கே திருவிளக்கே வேந்தன் உடன்பிறப்பேன்னு சொல்றச்சு, பெட்டி நிறைய பூஷணங்களை தாரும் அம்மா, எல்லாத்தையும் கேட்போம். கொட்டில் நிறைய குதிரைகளை தாரும் அம்மா, சந்தான பிச்சையுடன், மாங்கல்ய பிச்சையுடன் மடிப்பிச்சை தாரும் அம்மான்லாம் கேட்டுட்டு கடைசியில எல்லாம் தந்தேன்னாம் பக்கத்தில் நெல்லும் அம்மா. இதெல்லாம் கொடுத்துட்டு நீ வாட்டுக்கு எங்கேயாவது போயிடாத, பக்கத்துல நெல்லு, எனக்கு நீ வேணும் அப்படிங்கிறோம். You light a lamp and you ask for a lot of things. This is a shlokam that we say in the evening when we light the lamp in Tamil, and we usually ask for mangalyam, saubhagyam, all kinds of riches and everything, and then at the end we say, you can't just give this and get away. We ask the Devi goddess to stay with us also. So you just do one small lamp and you ask for a great result. So that is what is happening here. Ekam dattva. This is parivritti alankara. Parivritti is called exchange. And the exchange is such that you give a small thing in return for a great thing. So ekam dattva tat sahasram uparjayat. He has already earned 1,000 times of what he has given here. So this is the beauty part of this. Now, to go with the two words, I'll show you the text where he has made. So the person who has edited this for the first time is someone called Ganapati Shastri, and he has given a question mark for this Dashaika Dashika, and he has corrected it as Dashakaha Shatikaha iti. Now we'll go over the formation of these two words, and then I will go into the discussion of which one may be correct. Okay. Now, when you look at the word Dashaika Dashikaha, I hope it's clear. Ekadashartham dasha iti Dashaika dasha. Now, when you are lending 10 on the condition that the borrower will pay back 11, this is called Dashaika dasha. So, Ekadasha cha dasha cha Dashaika dasha. Now you will have to put that dasha in front because in the Sutram Alpachtaram, anything that has a lesser number of ach, you will have to put it as the first compound in a Karmadharaya or a Dvigu or in a Karmadharaya generally. So Dashaika dasha, dasha cha ekadasha cha. Instead of that, it is actually ekadasha cha dasha cha. What does that mean? Ekadashartham dasha. So, yatra ekadasha nishkan adhikan pratyarpaya iti samayam kritva. This is there in the one of the vyakhyanas of the sutram. The sutram is actually kusida dashaika dashat is your sutram. I'll go to this later. First, we will go with the formation of the word dashaika dasha and then go to dashaika dashika. So the yatra ekadasha nishkan adhikan pratyarpaya, you will have to return and give me extra. Iti dasha nishkaha rinatvena diyante. 10 coins are given as a debt to someone with the samayam kritva, with the agreement that pratyarpaya, you will have to return as 11 coins. So this is a lending of 10 so that he will pay back 11. This is called Dashaika dasha. Now, a creditor who does this lending with a mean motive, see, whether this motive itself is mean or not is very time relative. We're talking of a time when Panini had written this sutram, and that was how Vaishyas were doing things. Giving an amount of loan for interest was never considered as a good thing. A person who returns with the interest is always a person who does who is true to his let's say principles. When a person gives another person loan, he never expects an interest. That is not how it was before. Shastra ritya, niyama ritya tu. When a person gives a loan to another person, he can never expect interest for it. That is a mean motive, garhyam. That is something to be looked upon with disgust. Today we cannot even talk about it. Every loan given is, we give it with an intention that we will get 100 more from there. 10% interest, 25% interest, illa 110% interest. இந்த ஒண்ணுக்கு 10 வட்டி இதெல்லாம் பண்றோம் இல்லையா, அந்த அதெல்லாம் is not even there in this concept at all. So what was considered as good or noble is, you give a debt, that's it. You expect them, if you give 10, you expect them to return 10, that's all. If they give you extra, it is the good punyam fortune of that person, that he considers it as it is his onus, it is his responsibility, the debtor's responsibility to give more. The creditor should not expect more. He should not expect an interest. This is the shastram that I'm talking about. It's not practical today. It is not seen in the practical scenario today, right? So it was thought as garhyam. It was thought as something which should be looked upon with a disgust. So it is a mean motive with which you give 10 and expect them to return as 11. Yeah. So when a creditor does this, he is called dashaika dashikaha. So dashaika dasham prayachati yaha garhya rupena niyama bahyam. This is beyond niyamam, this is beyond the rules. Okay, so the word dashaika dasha is first made, and then dashaika dashat touch. So kusida dashaika dashat touchiti pratyayaha, and then you can see the formation where sha is gone, cha is gone, tha is remaining, tasya ikaha, you have ika coming in, and dashaika dashika. So dashaika dashika is a creditor who lends to someone with the mean motive of receiving more in return. Okay, this is the formation of this word. Now, because this has a mean motive behind it, probably the editor of this text did not thought that they were all of the merchants in Krita Yugam must have been of exalted mind, and so they would not have had this mean mentality in their mind. So we should not put this word there. And hence he changed it to dashakaha and shatikaha. How do those two words connect here? Sorry, not dashika, it is dashaka. So dashakaha and shatikaha. So this is another sutram applies here. Tadasmin vriddhi aya labha shulka upada diyate. Asmin nityukte asmai. For whom someone else, a creditor or a merchant, to whom another person gives a 10% profit or a share or rent, or 10, he can give 100% profit also, 100% rent, interest. It depends. If that person has been having that 10 rupees for some 10 years, he can return it back as 20, whatever, 100% he can return also. He need not return it as 11. It depends on the time gap of loan and everything. But this does not talk about the motive of the creditor, but it talks about the attitude of the debtor. Yasmai rinam diyate sahatu pratyarpana samaye. When he returns the money, he gives more. So the creditor to whom more is given, 10% more is given. So saha dashakaha athava shatikaha. I've given the formation for those who are interested in the vyakarana formation for this. So you have a specific sutram which is tad asmin ityukte asmai. So dasha ebhyaha vriddhihi diyate. Vriddhihi is interest, ayaha is rent, labhaha is profit. As a profit or rent or interest, 10 is being given to some person, and that person is called a dashakaha. So merchants can be, he thought that it was Krita Yugam, the editor of this text I'm saying. So because it is Krita Yugam, merchants are probably, they got 10 in return. There may have been people who have gotten 100 also in return. They were actually good people. They did not expect so much, but they got these things. That was how it was in those days. So he has changed that dashika to dashaka and shatika. But given Neelakanta Dikshita's temperament, you read his Kalividambanam, and even the first Sarga that we went through in Shivaleelarnavam, his sarcasm and irony is just something beyond, and he's constantly putting down people also. So he probably took this as an opportunity to talk about the present day merchants, that is those who were in 1500s and 1600s, those merchants who were probably doing this kind of leva devi. Leva devi, I don't know, it's a very specific word that we use in our local language. We can do it at the end also. So this giving money for interest, probably during Nilakanta Dikshita's time, there were a lot of merchants who were doing this sort of a ashastric work. It's not Shastra Sammatam Nasti. Tasmad, they have to be looked down upon. So he made he made a sarcastic comment about the merchants who were there in his time, probably. So I think Dashika Dashika should be correct there and not Dashaka or Shatika. So to understand about the Vaishya Dharma, if you go to Manu Dharma Shastram, in the 9th chapter, there are a couple of shlokas that talk about the work of a Vanik. Prajapatirhi Vaishyaya Srishtva Paridade Pashun Brahmanaya cha Rajnya cha Sarvaha Paridade Prajaha. For a Brahmana and Raja, for the Kshatriya and Brahmana, he created a lot of prajas, that is people, and gave it to them for them to take care. So Brahmanas had to take care of the people. So Brahmanas were responsible for the protection of the people in terms of, environment and mind and everything, or from calamities and all that. Raja is responsible for the protection of those people in இது pawn broker, correct. Yeah, லேவாதேவி பண்றவன் is the பட்டாணி கடை இந்த காலத்துல pawn broker, correct. So Raja was responsible for the sharirika raksha of people, whereas Vaishyaya Pashun Paridade, he gave cattle for the Vaishya merchants to take care of. Nacha Vaishyasya Kamaha Syat Rakshayam Na Rakshayam Pashuna iti. A merchant can never say that I will not take care of cows. He cannot have a desire that he will not take care of the cows. Vaishyecha ichchati na anyena rakshitavyaha. If there is a merchant who wants to protect the cows, cattle and animals in general, Pashu ityukte animals in general, then it is the duty of a merchant to take care of the animals. The others should not take care of those animals. What else are his duties? Mani mukta pravalanam lohanam tantavasya cha gandhanam cha rasanam cha vidyat argha balabalam. Value, argha bala abala. He has to understand the strength of its value or the whether it is degraded in its value or not. He has to know the value of all of these items: money, gems, mukta, pearls, pravala, coral, loha, iron, tantu, thread. If you see, all of these are connected with the earth. Adam bhumis prishaha, bhumis prik vanik. One who touches the earth, one who is directly connected with the earth. He understands gems, pearls, coral. These are all from the ocean's bed, right? So he understands anything that is connected with the earth. Tantu, crops, that is cotton that comes from the earth. Gandhanam rasanam cha. And then next he moves on to other things connected with the earth. Bijanam uptivit. He understands how to create, how to sow the seeds and how they come out, right? Babijanam uktivit syat kshetra dosha gunasya cha. So he also understands the dosha and guna of a kshetra in a field, whether this is a fertile land or not, whether you can put what type of seed should be put in this particular land. He understands the guna dosha of that land. So bhumi sprik is a very, very loaded term for a merchant. Mana yogam cha janiyat tula yogam cha sarvashaha. Mana is measure, tula is weight. He understands both weight and measures in all its entirety. Sarasaram cha bhandanam deshanam guna gunam. Bhandanam, any object. He understands the essence and asara, whether how good it is and how bad it is. He understands the essence of bhanda, any object. Deshanam guna gunam. Which particular desham, what grows well in what country. We have particularities about each desham. Vettala na Kumbakonam, beetle leaves, and madri vaழ na inga ஒரு ஊருக்கு மல்லினா மதுரை சொல்றோம்ல. அந்த மாதிரி every country, every state, every city has its own specific object that is really good in that particular state. A merchant understands that really well. Labha labham cha panyanam Pashunam parivardhanam. He has to take care of the growing and nourishing of animals in general. Labha labham pandyanam. Those objects that have to be sold, he understands profit and loss of those objects. Bhrityanam bhritim. He has to take care of the servants. Then bhashascha vividhaha nrinam. He knows the different languages of people. Dravyanam sthana yoganscha. Dravyam, if you have a spice, if you have lentils, rice, each one should be stored in different ways. Sthana yogam, how should they be placed? Where should they be placed to be protected really well? Krayam vikrayam, he knows how to sell and he knows how to buy. Now, where is the process of lenden? Leva devi illenga. There is no loaning and getting interest. Nothing of that sort is mentioned here in the work of a Vaishya. The last one is the most important. Dharmena cha dravya vriddhau atishtet yatnam uttamam. Uttamam yatnam atishtet. He must make a great effort in increasing dravya, increasing the commodities through a dharmic process. Dharmena, not by adharma. So dharmena dravya vriddhau yatnam uttamam atishtet. Dadyacha sarvabhutanam annameva prayatnataha. If he has to give anything to anybody, it is not loan. Loan is not mentioned here. Annameva dadyat. Annadanam kuryat iti. He has to give food for everybody as much as possible, not for money. This is not at all for money. Selling, buying, that and all is there, yes, but he should also do a lot of annadana. These are the works of a Vaishya that is mentioned in Manu Shastra. So there is no dasha ekadashartham dasha danam. The interest loan, pawnbroker, idella merchant. This is not the work of a merchant at all. But given the attitude of Nilakanta Dikshita, and அவருக்கு கொஞ்சம் இந்த குத்தி காமிக்கிற வேலை கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தி தான் போட்டு கொடுக்கிறது. See, there are merchants who do adharma work in this country, but our merchant, which is who is Dhananjaya, he is a dharmika vanik, and he gives only bhakti in return for so much of swarga phalam. So dashaika dashikaha prayaha vanijaha chatura api ekam dattva iha saha amutra tat sahasram uparjayat. He has already earned so much by just giving a little bit of bhakti. Okay, so we'll stop with this. Any questions? You can raise your hand. Namaste. You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Namaste. When you mentioned the Avvayar's Palum Telithenum, I just found something interesting which I want to share.
Sure.
Like Avvayar is like a Vanik Vaishya. She is bargaining with Ganesha. She is saying, I will give you this and you give me that in return. But she is very cleverly saying, see, I am giving you 4 things. But I am asking only for 3 things.
Yeah.
In return. That's so clever that she is giving 4 normal, ordinary things like milk and lentil and honey and all that. And she is asking for the moondru, Sanga Tamil moondrum. Huge thing, but it is disguised like, okay, you stand to gain in the bargain.
Yeah.
I found that interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Namaste. Arun Kumar Madhya.
ஆகந்துகா வேர்ட் அந்த நிபாத்த வேர்டா இல்ல ஏதாவது உற்பத்தி இருக்காங்க?
பிரத்யயம் இருக்கு அதுல. ஆகந்துக்கால ஒரு நிமிஷம் பார்த்து சொல்லிடுறேன். ஆகந்து ஸ்வார்த்தே கண்ணுங்கிற பிரத்யம் வருது. அந்த தசக இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுல க பிரத்யம் கண்ணு தான். அதுலயும் தசகாலையும் கண்ணு தானே பிரத்யம் இல்லையா? கண்ணு பிரத்யம். So agantuka is the pratipadika. Agantuka bhaktihi. அதனால அது பக்திக்கு அட்ஜெக்டிவா வர்றதுனால இட் இஸ் ஆகந்துகா. இட் இஸ் ஸ்திரீலிங்கி.
அதே மாதிரி காஞ்சி மகாபெரியவா சொல்வாரு அம்பிகைய பார்த்து, நான் உனக்கு 3 எழுத்து தரேன், அதுல 1 நீ வச்சுட்டு 2 எனக்கு திருப்பி கொடுன்னு சொல்லுவாரு இல்லையா? க ப லைன் 3 எழுத்து நான் உனக்கு தரேன், வாவ நீ வச்சுட்டு கலை எனக்கு திருப்பி கொடுன்னு கேட்பேன்.
அது தெரியல எனக்கு. ஓ, நல்லா இருக்கு இது.
3 எழுத்து நான் உனக்கு தரேன், 2 எனக்கு திருப்பி கொடுன்னு அவர் கேட்பாரு அம்பிகை கிட்ட.
ஓ, வெரி நைஸ்.
அதே மாதிரி ஏகாதச ஏகாதசிக சதக தசக, இதுல அவர் என்ன எக்ஸாக்ட் அவர் வந்து வணிகர் மாதிரி அறிவாளியா இருந்தாலும் அவர் இன் ரிட்டர்ன் எதுவுமே எதிர்பார்க்காம பக்திய கொடுத்தாலும் அவரு பரலோகத்துல அதுக்கு ஈக்குவலா 1000 மடங்கு இத பெறுறாரு அப்படின்னு அர்த்தத்தில் சொல்றாரா?
ஆமா, எஸ். யூஸ்வலி 10 கொடுத்தா 11 வரும். இவருக்கு என்னடா 1 கொடுத்தா 1000 வந்துடுறது.
1000 வருது
அப்படிங்கிறார்.
ரொம்ப சிறந்தது அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி அவர் சொல்லியிருக்காரு. ஏன்னா இந்த ஏகாதசக ஏகாதசக இது வந்து இந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ண முடியற மாதிரி வேர்ட்ஸா, இல்ல இது மத்த கான்டெக்ட்ல நம்மளால யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும்?
கான்டெக்ட்ல யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். பட் திஸ் தசைகாதசிகங்கிறது only அந்த அந்த கிரெடிட்டர் who gives expecting more. நான் உனக்கு கொடுக்கறதே உனக்கு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டுக்கு, இப்ப திருப்பி நீ இன்ட்ரெஸ்டோட தான்ப்பா எனக்கு கொடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லி லோன் கொடுக்கறவனுக்கு தான் அதை யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும். யூ கேன், it need not be only 10 or 11. It can be any number. But it is only in that specific context of a creditor and a debtor. வேற இடத்துல இல்ல.
இவரே கிரியேட் பண்ண வேர்ட் மாதிரி தெரியுது இல்லையா?
இல்ல இல்ல, இது வந்து பாணினியோட வேர்டு. சூத்திரங்கள் இருக்கு. அந்த சூத்திரங்களை வச்சுட்டுதான் இப்ப நீங்க வந்து காமிச்சேனே அந்த இல்ல ததஸ்மின்ல வந்து உங்களுக்கு இருக்கக்கூடியது இது. இந்த முன்னாடி இந்த குசீத தசைகாதசாத்துன்னே பதம் போட்டிருக்காருங்க. இந்த நம்பர்ஸ் எல்லாம் போட்டிருக்கிறது பாணினி சூத்திரத்தினுடைய நம்பர்ஸ். தசைகாதசன்னே அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு வேர்டு இருந்தது அந்த காலத்துல. அது கர்க்கியமான ஒரு ஒர்க். அந்த காலம் இந்த காலத்துல வந்து முட்டாள் நடுவான் நம்மள. அது சரி, நம்மளே இப்ப சாதாரணமா ஒருத்தருக்கு கொடுத்தோம்னா 10 ரூபா கொடுத்தோம்னா அவன் 10 இல்லையோ 10 கொடுக்கறான்னு நம்மளே.
नमस्ते महोदय.
नमस्ते.
मम संशयः, अगस्त्यः एवं युगविषयान् सर्वं ज्ञात्वा उक्तवन्तः इति. इत्युक्ते अगस्त्यः पुनः वसिष्ठः अपि, दिलीपस्य अपि गुरुः वसिष्ठः एव, रामस्य अपि वसिष्ठः एव. वसिष्ठः एटर्नल इति स्वीकुर्मः. सप्तऋषयः
एटर्नल தான், அது கரெக்ட். another theory is that Vasishta is a padam, sthanam iti. यः कोऽपि तत्र ऋषिरूपेण वर्तते तर्हि तस्य वसिष्ठः व्यासः इत्यादिकं तु तत्र स्थानम् इति वदामः. That is also one yet another theory. But another theory that you can take it as Vasishta being one of the Saptarishis, he is eternal.
विषयः कः इत्युक्ते वसिष्ठस्य पुत्रः अपि विश्वामित्रस्य शापात् पुनः शक्तेः मरणम् भवति. किन्तु वसिष्ठः एकत्र वसिष्ठ निमयोः एवं युद्धं इत्युक्ते परस्पर शापं भवति इति. तदा वसिष्ठः अपि वसिष्ठस्य अपि देहः नष्टः भवति, निमेः अपि देहः नष्टः भवति, वसिष्ठस्य पुनरुज्जीवनं भवति, किन्तु निमिः पुनः देहं प्राप्तुं न इच्छति इति. अस्माकं पक्ष्म मध्ये सः जीवति, अतः एव निमेषः इति वदामः इति कथा श्रूयते. अनन्तरं एतद् அந்த தர்மேன ச திரவிய விருத்தா வாதிஷ்டேத் யத்னம் உத்தமம் மனுதர்மதः அத்யத்புதம் மகோதயே एवं मनुस्मृति मनुधर्मशास्त्रस्य विषये जनाः किमपि न जानन्ति इत्युक्ते अनावश्यक विषयान् वदन्ति मनुधर्मं सम्यक् नास्ति एवं महिलानां अधो इत्युक्ते महिलानां विषये अधर्मं करोति तादृशं सर्वं वस्तुतः अस्माभिः मनुधर्मः पठनीयः इति भवत्याः एवं प्रदर्शनात् avagachami.
Pataniyam, but you also have to look at it from the time concept also. We have come so far from the Manu Dharma Shastram. Adiyum nenichikkanum. You know, it's a very inniki vande if we go and tell people that this is what a merchant has to do, then today people are not in that time frame to accept that this is what it is. They want to look at everything out of context. See, the creation of a Vaishya, a Brahmana, the Varnashrama Dharma was with a different concept at that time. In today's world, it is not relevant. We have to understand it because we have come so far removed from the original principles. If we have to try to go back to the original principles, we should. Yeah.
இட் இஸ் நாட் ரிலவென்ட் அப்படிங்கறதோட நமக்கு அதனோட சரியான அர்த்தம் புரியலையோ அப்படின்னு
இல்ல புரிஞ்சா கூட இன்னைக்கு ரெலவென்ட் இல்லன்னு நான் எதுக்கு சொல்றேன்னா we have come so far, people have come so far out of that. They don't understand the real nature of why it was written and what was written. They don't understand it today, but they want to pick on it and அத வந்து என்ன சொல்றா வெறும் பேர் போன்ஸ் மாத்திரம் எடுத்து எதையோ சொல்லணும்னு பாக்குறா. See, 1000 ஸ்லோகம் வந்து உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஸ்திரீ உத்தமத்துவத்தை பத்தி பேசும் பொழுது ஒரு ஸ்லோகம் வந்து மோசமா இருந்ததுன்னா அந்த ஒத்த ஸ்லோகத்தை எடுத்து எல்லாரும் வந்து எஸ்ஸே எழுதுவா. There are 1000 shlokas. There are 1000 shlokas which talk about the greatness of women in Manu Dharma Shastram. And there may be 2 shlokas which also talk about how they should be beaten and all that. Yes, there are such shlokas. Na illen sollala. Ana what is the weightage? Eko hi dosho gunasannipate nimajjati. Oru dosham irundalum adha vandu marachuttu gunangala eduthukiradhu dhaan oru buddhisaliyoda oru vela. You'll have to take the positive aspects of something and not keep harping on the bad aspect that is there. Probably one bad aspect. Who knows?
एतत् पदं दशैकादशिकः கந்துவட்டிக்காரர்னு சொல்லலாமா?
ஆமா, அதான் அதேதான் கந்துவட்டி தான். இந்த பான் புரோக்கர், இந்த லோன் sharks.
तद् निषिद्धं किल கந்துவட்டி चेत् तद् अगेन्स्ट लॉ.
கந்துவட்டின்னா என்ன? பிரைவேட் லோன்.
வட்டிக்கு வட்டி.
பிரைவேட் லோன் தானே.
But
if it is done by the bank, we accept it, right, as legal.
तत्र तु नियमाः भवन्ति किल महोदय.
See, that is because if an organization has been formed and they have given the rules. If a kanduvattikara, a private loan fellow, he has an organization, he has a set of rules, and we decide to go and take a loan from him, the onus is on us that we have gone to such a person. Oru number, if we are looking at it from the angle of Dharma Shastram, then both are wrong. அதான் சொன்னேன், we are so removed from what it was before அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு அதுதான் எக்ஸாம்பிள் precisely. See, you say
सम्यक् अस्ति किल एवं द्रव्याणां वृद्धिकरणं तत् accepted.
Yes, absolutely.
करोति चेत् कस्यापि नष्टं न भवति.
न भवत्येव. But in today's world, if you are looking at today's world from Manu Dharma Shastra and saying that the bank is legal but Kanduvatikaran is a private loan fellow is a illegal person, then it doesn't make sense. In today's world, you can talk about legality and illegality about these two people. But from Manu Dharma Shastra's viewpoint, both are illegal. யோசிச்சு பாருங்க இல்லையா?
अवगच्छामि।
அதான்.
भूमेः स्पृशः अपि बहु सम्यक् अस्ति। सामान्यतया वयं एतावदेव अर्थम् अवगच्छामः, किन्तु भवती विभिन्नग्रन्थात् ग्रन्थेभ्यः स्वीकृत्य उत्तमतया विवृणोति। महान् सन्तोषः, धन्यवादाः भवत्यै।
தேங்க்யூ. அது அவரை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணணுங்கிற ஒரு ஆதங்கம் தான், வேற என்ன. இல்லன்னா அது அப்படியே இட் வில் பிகம் பெரிட்.
அந்த மாதிரி ஒருத்தர் கிடைச்சது எங்களோட பாக்கியம்.
சரி,
धन्यवादः.
நமஸ்தே. எனி அதர் क्वेश्चंस இருக்கா? இல்ல. ஓகே. नमस्सुन्दरनाथाय तस्मै हालास्य वासिने चतुष्षष्टि विद्यालीला येनाकारी भुवस्तले श्रीमत्सुन्दरनाथस्य देवीं चपरलोचनं कलये हृदये नित्यं कदम्ब वनवासिनीम्.